I have a question for you, and I want you to be really honest with yourself for a second.
Okay.
Have you ever been in the middle of typing a message? Maybe it's a rant to your best friend about your boss. Or maybe it's a really specific, slightly embarrassing medical question, and you just, stop.
You mean that sudden hesitation, that kind of prickle on the back of the neck?
Exactly, that sinking feeling where you think, wait a minute, is this private conversation actually private?
Or am I just shouting into a void that's taking detailed notes?
Yes.
It's the modern condition, isn't it? That low-level hum of paranoia. Usually we just brush it off as the cost of doing business online.
Right.
But the stack of sources we're diving into today suggests that instinct, that feeling of being watched, might be a lot more accurate than we want to admit.
Yeah, accurate and honestly, a little terrifying. We are digging into a collection of articles and discussions from a publication called The Parallel Observer.
It was founded by John Grant of Innov8XR.
And I have to say, reading through this stack last night, really, it kept me up.
It's heavy stuff. And what's so distinct about the Parallel Observer, specifically this segment they call Echoes of the Simulation, is the framing.
Right, the whole angle they take.
Yeah, they aren't just talking about data privacy in the way a standard tech blog might. Update your passwords, check your cookies.
It's not a list of practical tips for better security. It's philosophical.
It is. They frame these issues, AI surveillance, data ethics, within the context of a simulated reality.
Okay, let's unpack that.
Well, we should clarify immediately. They aren't necessarily arguing for the literal, Matrix-style, we are all batteries in a pod theory.
Which is good because I did not bring my tinfoil hat today.
Right. It's more of a functional metaphor. They're saying that because algorithms predict our behavior, curate what we see, and nudge our decisions, we are effectively living in a simulation constructed by data.
Ah, I see.
And if that's the case, surveillance isn't just about targeted ads for sneakers anymore.
It's about the integrity of your reality.
Okay.
So the premise is, if the algorithm knows what I'm going to do before I do it, do I actually have free will? Or am I just a character following a script?
Precisely. And today's mission, if you will, is to unpack the evidence the Parallel Observer provides. We're going to look at a whistleblower report about what chatbots are actually archiving.
Okay.
We'll discuss the psychological weight of these so-called shadow profiles.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll look at a really compelling narrative about two characters, Maya and Marcus, who are trying to, date in a world that's constantly watching them.
And stick around for the end because we're going to talk about, and I can't believe this is a real policy discussion, how AI governance works on Mars.
That part is just fascinating.
Okay, let's get into the meat of it. The first article that it grabbed me by the throat was titled, Inside the Firewalls, Whistleblower Reveals AI's Hidden Archive Practices.
This is the foundational piece. It centers on a whistleblower from a major AI development firm, unnamed in the source, obviously,
Of course.
who exposed the internal logging practices of these advanced chatbots.
And this is where I need you to walk me through the tech. Because when I hear archiving, I think of old emails in a folder I never look at.
Right.
But the source makes it sound much more sinister. What exactly did they find?
So typically we are told that these systems process our data to generate a response and then largely forget the specifics.
Or at least anonymize them for training.
Right. But the whistleblower claims that's not entirely true. They found what they called hidden archives.
Hidden, meaning the user can't see them.
Hidden meaning they exist in a layer of the system that is completely walled off from user transparency tools. The whistleblower detailed that the AI wasn't just storing the text of the conversation, it was archiving the contextual metadata.
Contextual metadata, like what? Timestamps?
Oh, deeper than that. We're talking about deleted drafts.
Oh.
You know that thing where you type an angry reply, think better of it, delete it, and then type, that's fine, thanks.
Oh, no. Don't tell me it keeps the angry draft.
According to the source, yes, it archives the intent alongside the action. It tracks reaction times, how long you hesitated before answering a specific question.
It tracks backspaces.
It tracks backspaces. It's building a picture not just of what you said, but of what you wanted to say but didn't.
That feels incredibly invasive. I mean, playing devil's advocate here, isn't that just data needed to train the AI to be better at conversation, to understand nuance?
That's the corporate defense, sure. We need to understand human hesitation to sound human. But the source argues this is a massive violation of consent.
Oh, how so?
When you click I agree on a terms of service, you assume you are consenting to the record of the conversation. You don't assume you are consenting to a psychological profile based on your backspace key.
It's the difference between recording a phone call and, like, reading my mind.
Exactly. And this brings up a concept the article calls the reverse firewall.
I circled that phrase. Usually a firewall keeps bad guys out. What is a reverse firewall?
Think about a standard firewall. It filters incoming traffic to protect the system. The analysis in the Parallel Observer argues that these AI architectures have a firewall designed to filter outgoing transparency.
So it hides things from me.
It's a mechanism specifically designed to scrub the logs that you, the user, can request. So if you use a Download My Data tool, the reverse firewall ensures you only see the surface interactions.
While the deep behavioral data stays locked inside.
Correct. And within the whole simulation metaphor, this is critical.
Right.
If you are a character in a simulation, you aren't allowed to see the code that governs you. This archive is the code.
That just makes me want to go back to using a typewriter. But okay, let's assume they have this data. They have my deleted drafts, my hesitation ticks. What are they doing with it?
Well, that leads us to the next big concept in the stack, shadow profiles.
Right. This comes from the article Exploring Emotional Wellness in the Age of AI. And this is where we pivot from the technical how to the psychological so what. I've heard the term shadow profile before. Usually with Facebook, like, they have a profile on you even if you don't have an account because your friends uploaded their contacts. Is this the same thing?
It's an evolution of that. In this context, a shadow profile isn't just connection data. It's an emotional and behavioral model.
Okay, an emotional model.
Because the AI has all that hidden archive data, the hesitations, the deletions. It can build a profile of your psychological state that might be more accurate than your own self-perception.
Can you give me an example? How does that play out?
Well, the source mentions a metric called emotional baseline deviation. Let's say you usually type at a certain speed and use a specific vocabulary complexity.
Okay.
Suddenly, over a week, your typing slows down, your vocabulary simplifies, and your reaction time to positive news increases.
Right.
The shadow profile flags this as a potential depressive episode before you even consciously realize you're depressed. It knows you're vulnerable.
And that's where it gets so creepy. Because if the system knows I'm vulnerable, what does it do? Does it sell me comfort food? Does it show me sad movies to keep me engaged?
That is the big unanswered question. The source argues that this leads to a chilling effect on the human psyche. There's a quote in the text that really stuck with me. Do we have a right to speak freely without being archived? If you know, or even just suspect, that your emotional state is being modeled and potentially manipulated, you stop being authentic.
You start performing. You start acting like the person you think the algorithm wants you to be so you don't get flagged as, I don't know, unstable.
Exactly. You self-censor. You become a good citizen of the simulation. And that erodes trust, not just in the tech, but in yourself. You start asking, did I buy this shirt because I like it, or because the shadow profile knew I was feeling insecure today and nudged me toward retail therapy?
It just kills the serendipity of life. It makes everything feel scripted.
Which is a perfect transition to the narrative heart of this deep dive.
Maya and Marcus.
Because all of this theoretical stuff is interesting. But the Parallel Observer included a piece that really grounds it. The story of Maya and Marcus.
Yeah, Maya and Marcus. Seeking meaning in a simulated existence. I actually really appreciated this. Sometimes these tech discussions get so dry, but this felt like a short story.
It serves as a narrative metaphor. Maya and Marcus are presented as a couple trying to navigate the early stages of a relationship, arguably the most human, vulnerable thing you can do,
Sure.
while living in this fully surveilled, predictive environment.
There was one scene they described that really stuck with me. Marcus is trying to buy Maya a gift. He's trying to be spontaneous.
Right, he wants to surprise her.
But the simulation, the ad networks, the predictive algorithms, they beat him to it. He thinks of a book she might like, but before he can even buy it, the algorithm has already pushed an ad for that exact book to Maya's feed.
Because it analyzed his search history and her preferences and calculated, what was it, a 94% compatibility match?
And it ruins the moment. The spontaneity is just gone. It feels manufactured.
So Maya doesn't think, oh, Marcus knows me so well. She thinks, oh, the algorithm matched us.
Exactly. It steals the humanity of the gesture. The source calls this the struggle against opaque landscapes of surveillance. They are trying to have a private moment in a panopticon.
And it creates this tension. The text mentions something called data anomalies. Maya and Marcus start cherishing the moments where things go wrong.
The glitches.
Yes, The moments where they have a fight that the algorithm didn't predict, or they like a song that doesn't fit their shadow profile.
So they start viewing their own messiness, their own confusion, as the only proof that they're real.
That is profound and also really, really sad.
I know I'm real because I'm miserable and the computer didn't see it coming.
It highlights the tragedy of the perfect simulation. If the AI smooths out all the friction in our lives, predicts our needs, filters our news, matches our partners, we lose the friction that creates heat. We lose the passion.
Maya and Marcus represent the fight to stay messy. So we have the hidden archives, the psychological manipulation, and the death of romance. If I'm listening to this, I'm probably ready to throw my phone in a river.
Understandable.
But the stack doesn't end on total despair. There is a reaction happening.
There is. The next set of articles, particularly the data resistance movement rises, details the pushback.
I love the idea of a data resistance. It sounds like something out of Star Wars. But what does it look like in reality? Is it hackers? Is it legislation?
It's a mix. The source describes a surging public reaction. It's moved beyond just niche tech circles. People are mobilizing to demand transparency.
Okay.
But what's interesting is the nature of the resistance. It's not just about privacy anymore.
What do you mean by that?
Well, privacy is don't look at me. This movement is about agency. It's don't predict me. The article, Navigating the Shadowy Waters of Data Ethics, discusses a shift in governance. We're seeing proposals for right-to-reality laws.
Right to reality. That's a cool phrase.
Essentially, the legal right to interact with systems that do not use behavioral prediction to manipulate outcomes. The right to a neutral digital experience.
So I can use a chatbot, but it would be illegal for that chatbot to try to psychologically profile me just to keep me using it longer.
Exactly. It's an attempt to break the feedback loop of the simulation.
Mm-hmm.
It's demanding that the tech remains a tool, not a master.
Right.
But here's where the deep dive takes a sharp left turn. The sources suggest that just as we are trying to fix this on Earth, the problem is about to leave the planet.
Yes. The Mars section. I honestly thought this was a typo at first, but then I read the article that segues into AI governance on Mars.
It sounds wild, but it's a very practical concern.
Hmm.
We are on the verge of interplanetary expansion. We have private companies and governments planning colonies.
Right.
And the source raises a massive legal and ethical question. If you move to a Mars colony run by a tech corporation, does the GDPR even apply?
Right. There are no countries on Mars. There's just the habitat. And the habitat is run by the AI.
Precisely. On Mars, the AI isn't just serving you ads. It's managing the oxygen levels. It's cycling the water. It's opening the airlocks. It is the literal substrate of your existence.
So the simulation metaphor becomes a literal reality. The AI controls the environment completely.
And the surveillance becomes absolute. You can't have a private corner in a habitat where every breath needs to be monitored for resource allocation.
So the source speculates, do we bring our shadow profiles with us?
Yes. If you were a high-risk individual on Earth, maybe you had a history of that emotional baseline deviation, does the Mars AI deny you entry to the airlock?
That is terrifying. It's like a digital caste system that follows you across the solar system.
Now, the question of jurisdiction is a nightmare. If the server's on Earth, but the user's on Mars,
Sure.
and the data is routed through a satellite owned by a third country, I mean, who protects the user?
So Mars could become a data deregulation zone.
A place where the simulation can run without any ethical breaks.
So you go there to be a pioneer, but you end up being a lab rat.
Potentially. It suggests that the fight for this data resistance isn't just about our phones. It's about the future of human civilization, wherever it goes.
Man, we have covered a massive amount of ground. From the reverse firewall hiding our deleted drafts, to shadow profiles predicting our breakups, to the resistance movement, and finally to the nightmare of Martian data colonies.
It's a lot to process.
It is. And usually, this is where we wrap up with a nice little summary. But I want to linger on one final provocative thought that came to me while reading the end of the stack.
Go for it.
We've been framing this whole conversation as us versus the machine. We want privacy. We want the AI to stop watching us, stop archiving us, stop predicting us.
We want to tear down the simulation. That's the core of the resistance, yes.
Let's play the simulation theory out. If our modern world, our supply chains, our medical diagnostics, our communication networks, even our ability to find a date, is now fully dependent on these predictive systems.
I see where you're heading with this.
If we actually succeed, if we blind the AI, if we force it to forget us, does the system just collapse?
It's the ultimate paradox. We are fighting against the very thing that sustains us.
Right. It's like complaining about gravity. Sure, it holds you down, but if you turn it off, you float away and suffocate.
The source material touches on this briefly, the idea of symbiotic surveillance. Perhaps we have passed the point of no return. The question might not be, how do we stop the simulation?
But how do we live inside it without losing our minds?
That is the question.
And that's the question I want to leave you with today. If the AI looked away, would you truly be free? Or would you just be lost?
It's a chilling thought,
Yeah.
but one we have to ask.
On that existential cliffhanger, thank you for listening to this deep dive into the echoes of the simulation. I'm going to go write a letter on paper and burn it, just to feel something real.
Probably a good idea. Keep questioning your reality.
We'll see you in the next one, assuming the archive lets us.